As a goal scorer yourself, is it frustrating the amount of chances we're missing? Do you sort of stand there and...
Yeah, but I'll be honest, I had spells in my career where you go 10, 15 games without scoring a goal and you don't know what's going to happen. The second goal on Tuesday night for Bath City, the guy's headed it in, Tom Candler's cleared it off the line, it's hit Nicky Bulmer on the back and then crossed the line, and Tom's going to clear it again, but it's only the second time that it crossed the line. We don't get those goals at the moment.
No.
We don't get those goals, and I gave the example today at the post.
Yeah.
But the law of averages says that that is going to happen,
Yeah.
and it will happen.
Yeah.
And we will go on a run, I'm absolutely convinced of it. We will go and win 5 or 6 games, as we did last season. And once these players get some confidence, once we get players like Michael Malcolm, Jake Hyde, Adrian Petulia getting some confidence, then I'd fear for some of the teams that play against us. So, yeah, but the worry is when you're not creating chances. That is the biggest worry, and always was. But when we create chances, you know it's going to happen. You just have to be patient.
No, I think we're playing some good football, Gary. So.
The definition of full-time is that a player signs a 2 or 3 year contract, and from the start of his contract to the end of his contract, he gets paid every week. But the nature of football now is that instead of doing 52-week years, clubs are doing, we were operating off 38 weeks.
Yeah.
Now we're operating off, well, we're still operating off 38 weeks this year, but what I wanted to do was to go to 44 weeks. I thought that was going to be possible, it wasn't. So a lot of these players, in fact all of these players came in for no money in pre-season, did 6 weeks worth of pre-season, and then we paid them on a 38 week year. I would hope that we would be able to go to maybe to a 42 or a 44 week year next year. But what's happened, and I'm sure people are aware of this, the recession at the moment, or the financial problems at the moment, means that it's filtered all the way down. So Liverpool, instead of taking 30 professionals, are taking 28 professionals. And you can work that all the way down. QPR have got less professionals. So those players have drifted down, which means that the League 2 players, or players that would have been playing League 2, have drifted down into the conference. Now they've drifted to the top of the conference, but those players that the conference teams would have been taking have drifted down. So Jamie Hand, Bradley Pritchard, Peter Holmes, Lee Harrison, Adam Bygrave will come to us for the wages that we're prepared to offer. But I think we've got, I would say, we don't have one player that has been overpaid. I think we are getting value for money out of all of our players, and it was the perfect time to do what I did. The absolute perfect time, because there's better players available, and you would, to be honest, you wouldn't believe the number of players that I've turned away with good quality, over 100 first team appearances in the league, players that are of real genuine quality, but that I either couldn't afford or didn't fit into what I wanted to do. And there are still players out there.
What's the spirit like?
Well,
I know sort of training every day. Are they?
Yeah, this seems to be. It seems to be a
I'm
good
a great
spirit.
believer that the spirit in the team goes out onto the pitch. You know, sort of. You know what I mean, don't you? You know,
I mean,
sort of,
it looks to me they look like they enjoy training. The way we train, I have been told by a lot of different players, is a lot different to the way other professional teams train. And we train the way I wanted to train as a player. Everything's football specific. It's no good doing an 8-mile run, because you don't run 8 miles at one pace in one direction in a football match. It's changing direction, stopping and starting. So we train for football matches, and everything is specific, and they seem to enjoy it. There's been a good humour about the place. They're very disappointed today, but I'm a firm believer in telling the players what I really think. And today I think we played very well. Conceded a bad goal, then conceded a wonder goal. The third goal is a different scenario, and we didn't take our chances. And I'm not going to be disappointed or be angry with the players for that. The only game I've been angry and disappointed in was Altrincham, where I thought we were outfought, and that to me is the only time that's happened this season. And the players were made aware of that then as well.
I'm sure. The Gazette. And with the Gazette, Gary, please, because I mean, you know. I remember speaking to Steve Perryman one day, and he told me that when he goes to give interviews, if they change one word, they can mean exactly the opposite to what he said. So is that basically happening to you, or what?
Well, I saw somewhere on the forum that somebody said, could we not have just had a quiet word with them and made our feelings clear? We did that the first time. And then you'd think, well, okay, we'll take it higher then, and could we not have spoken to the person in charge? We did that the second time. Could you not have then said, maybe that if you do something like that again, then we won't be talking to you. That's what we did the third time. So then the fourth time when it happens, that's when I've said, actually, no, I'm not doing this anymore. It was a 15-minute interview. At the end of the interview, I was asked, right at the very end, now this, bear in mind that everything else that's gone before, an awful lot of information has gone there, and the question was, the York City job is available, is that something you would be interested in? And guarantee you, this was what my answer was. I said, it's a big job. Anybody in this division who is coming from a part-time or a club that's coming up from below that's been part-time would be mad to say, no, I'm not interested in it and I wouldn't take that job, because if by some chance the York City chairman has decided that I'm the person for him, I'd be a fool not to talk to them. But I've got a job, I've got a blank canvas to work with, I've created a situation, I'm extremely happy where I am. I would not be applying for the job. I haven't applied for the job and I won't be, but if their chairman rings our chairman, I'd be an idiot not to talk to them. Yeah. That was what my answer was. Now from that, the headline in the newspaper is Haylock interested in York City job. That's not what I said. No. That's not the impression that I gave, that's not what I said. And so I've then got two people ringing me, wanting to know what the story is. I've got the players approaching, wanting to know what the story is. It's picked up by the non-league paper and it's picked up by the next club that we played. It was in their programme. I'm looking at this and I'm saying, I've now created a situation whereby the chairman wants to know what's happening, the supporters want to know what's happening because of one headline that, yeah, I didn't say that I wasn't interested in it, but I certainly gave the impression that the only way it would happen is if they came looking for me. So now people are saying, oh, he's touting himself for jobs, etc., etc. That caused me an awful lot of problems. And so I gave up. It's the same reporter each time, and I gave up. If I've got something to say, I'll say it through the website.
I think you've been here 3.5 years and you've not had a contract, have you?
No, I'm
allowed to say that, am I?
Yeah, that's the fact. But to be honest, that's not the case. The problem is that I've said something, I've answered a question, and the words have been taken, but it's been given a completely different slant. And I've worked for a local newspaper in Dundalk in Ireland, and I've worked for a national newspaper in Ireland. He's trying to get himself a job. Okay? He's trying to get out of there, and he's trying to do it by sensationalising everything. He's done it to Adam Green, he did it to Danny Allen Page, he did it to Ram Marwa, and he's done it to me 4 times. I've not told the players they can't talk to them, but I've told them that they're responsible for what they say. I'll be honest, I'm not prepared to do his job for him anymore. And this is a newspaper who doesn't send a reporter to away games. There was nobody at the game on Tuesday. I don't think they have the club's interest at heart. I don't think that they've done a professional job. They issued a statement that I totally disagreed with, but I'll say it on camera, but I flatly refuse to talk to them. I don't see why I should.
Somebody told me that they've only got 3,000 circulation in the Hayes area now, so basically we're
I don't think they do.
I wouldn't say incidental is a particularly
I don't think that they do a good job in the coverage of the club. I really don't. I don't think they have the club's interest at heart. I think they try and sensationalise it to make a headline, and that's not the job of a local newspaper. And I said it to the reporter, that their circulation is not going to change based on what I say. And so it's purely an information tool for them, or it should be for them, but it's not. They've tried to sensationalise it, so I don't see why I should talk to them. I made the chairman aware of it, I made the board aware of it, I made everybody aware of it, and that's the reason why.
Yeah, I can understand that. I'm sure everyone else will as well.
Well, we'll see.
Right. What is the information you have on the stadium, on the new stadium?
What do I have?
I knew you would say nothing.
I don't have any. We were training at the Warren. I was told that we had to have another, we did pre-season at the Warren, that the pitch at the Warren is dreadful because there's not been any work done on it. The club said we don't want to do any work on it because it's going to be knocked down and the new stadium is going to be built, so totally accepted that. We were out there, I think 3 weeks ago, and we're now training at Royal Holloway at Egham, which is...
Someone said you was training at the old Technicolor.
We trained there Thursday and Friday because there are drainage problems at Holloway, and the school, Gurren Nanak School, have agreed to let us train there on occasions, which I think is going to depends on the weather as to whether Holloway is available. But as for when work starts or what's happening, I don't know. I believe that the first thing that will be done is the 3G pitch, because obviously that then produces a revenue, which makes sense. As to when, where, why, no idea. And to be honest, if I got involved, I'm sure that if I went and pushed and really pushed for answers, then I'd probably get them. But I don't think that's not my job, and You know, I've got far more important, well, I feel far more important things to be working on. So all I know is that we're going to be here for this season. Whether we're somewhere else for next season, I don't know. I really don't know.
Well, just to finish, right, I've got to ask you, you know, you obviously can't be happy where we are at the moment. You know, by the time Mark comes back for the next interview, where do you expect us to be?
As in training-wise?
No, in league position.
You know. I think this team is capable of finishing in the top 10. I really do think it is.
You said that a couple of seasons ago, and everyone said.
Was that year we got promoted?
Yeah.
So
that's, you know, that's.
I think this team is capable of finishing in the top 10. I think we have critical positions. I've brought in a very experienced goalkeeper, and we've been very unfortunate with injuries. I brought in a superbly talented footballer at centre forward, and he got sold underneath us. So I think we've been a little bit unfortunate in those areas. But this team is capable of finishing in the top 10. I think wherever they finish, I think it will be better next season. And that's why the biggest reason for the change. I'll be quite happy to finish 17th, 18th or 19th this season, because I think that we will look to go on and improve next year. Leighton Orient told me they changed 8 players last year and felt it would take them till Christmas to bed in. Crawley changed, I think, 12 players, and they said that they wouldn't really see anything major until February. We changed 19, 20 players, and so it might take all season before I become happy before I get to the stage where I'm happy with the way things are. But it takes, I've been told by the lead coach in the FAI in Ireland, it takes 3 years to bed in a team. This is a brand new team. We've had, I think it's 4 or 5 months. And so I don't think we're seeing the best from them. We're seeing a lot of good football, but the little bits and pieces around it are going to take some time. And we're not going to get promoted this season. I don't think we'll get relegated, and I think we'll have a team that with a couple of additions, instead of looking for 19 players, I'll be looking for 2 or 3 next season, and then you're looking to push on then.
Does that mean then that if it takes 3 years to pay to be signed a contract with us in Gary or what?
To sign a contract, I've got to be offered one.
Oh, I didn't realise you hadn't been.
I've never been offered a contract. I've never looked for a contract either. I signed I agreed to take the job on a handshake with Philip Spurden. I agreed to take the Hazen job on a handshake. I'm quite happy with the way I won't say I'm quite happy with it. If somebody offers me a contract for £10,000 a week, I'm going to take it. If somebody offers me a contract for £25 a week, I'm not going to take it. So, but I've certainly not been offered one and turned it down.
Well, Gary, I'm sure that, you know, you'll do for me, mate, as I speak for a lot of... Put it there, boy, right?
Thank you very much.
I speak for most of them, you're all right.
Thank you very much.
Keep the good work up, all right?
Thank you very much.
Cheers, mate. So.